Feel the rhythm, hear the rhyme. Watch out now, it's the Blocks competition time. Joe the Home Pro has landed in Tulsa. Let the Blocks competition begin. Can't wait to see everybody.
Welcome back to the Blocks, the largest live-in startup competition ever created.
The competition this season is top tier.
They're all here to win.
Definitely gets your blood pumping a little bit.
The entire thing is a 24-hour-a-day game competing in a series of workshops, one-on-one consults, pitches, and exercises.
I think everyone was a bit like, what the fuck are we doing? Day one was nerve-wracking.
I think everybody on stage was terrified.
Well, I'm fucking nervous, and I'm not even up there.
Bloxers will be ranked from first to last in real time throughout the entire experience, with the current leaders wearing the red jerseys.
Your concern about my red shirt says more about you than me.
That's a bit off-putting.
Yes.
There's never enough time to do what they're asking us to do.
And I'm now one step closer to being a billion-dollar corporation.
The light bulb just went off on that, so thank you.
The Blocks doesn't just test the entrepreneurs, but also empowers you, the viewers, with the tools one needs to start the next great company. Our game is your education, and it starts right now.
Well. That's good branding. We're going to talk about that this week. We're going to talk about a lot of things this week. Welcome to season 13 of The Blocks. I want this to be the most impactful week of education you've ever had in your entire life. And we have a system to do that I have been working on and building for over a decade, turned into a game and a documentary only a couple of years ago. We have companies that are doing $100+ million a year in annual sales. These are the numbers that I want to get some of you guys at, and I want to give you the roadmap this week. I've got a lot more to tell you, but as you know, I don't do this alone. You're going to have Sherpas, coaches, mentors, whatever you want to call them, judges. And they're going to be guiding you through a large portion of the week. They're, in fact, 100% responsible of how well you do in this game. And so we need to introduce the judges before I get into any of the meat and potatoes of the game, am I right? Yeah. And so with that said, I'd love to introduce the judges. Bring them out.
Well, how are you guys doing? How you Bloxers doing tonight? Everybody okay? Some of you look a little nervous. That's all right. I was nervous my first time sitting in those chairs, season 7, and then coming back for season 9. I think I might be the only 2-time champion of the Blocks. So some of you guys might recognize me, some of you may not. That's okay. I'm going to get to know each and every one of you as much as I can while we're here.
Well, my name is Aaron Quinones, but most people know me as Sergeant Q. I'm a former Special Forces operator in the Marine Corps at 1st Anglico, and I'm also the founder and CEO of Q Actual.
Thank you, Sergeant Q. I'm Stephanie O'Day. I'm a New York Times bestselling author, host of the Slow Living podcast, and a mom of 3, and a baby basset hound named Sheldon.
I first got my start online in 2008 when I made a New Year's resolution to use my crockpot slow cooker every day for a year and write about it online.
Man, I've not seen a beautiful group of people like you in a long time, and I'm so happy to be here. My name is Alex Golombievsky. I'm a Ukrainian American. I was born in Ukraine and migrated here when I was 4 years old. I am a product of the American dream.
And I'm the founder and CEO of VIA Learning. It's an AI-powered teacher's assistant focused in the higher education space.
Hey y'all, what is up? My name is Melissa Villanueva. I'm the founder and CEO of Brewpoint Coffee.
I started Brewpoint with my 7-month boyfriend, now husband, Angelo. It was actually, when we flew in yesterday, it was our 9-year anniversary.
My name's Emily Keys, and in 2011, I founded a company called The Talent Boom. We're a global headhunting business. We work with some of the world's largest brands, advertising agencies, scaling startups and Fortune 500s, and basically help them find talent.
So I have two businesses, The Talent Boom, which I set up in 2011, which is a global creative and digital headhunting firm. And due to my background in business, last year I set up a new business called the Global Business Coach.
Hey guys, my name is Michael Grayevsky. I'm new to the blocks. I started off just as a simple little idea. I came up with a menu, I came up with a name. Since then, we've grown to 4 units in the past 7 years. And we are steadily growing and getting into franchising.
Hello, Bloxers. My name is Tiffany, and I am from Philadelphia.
And my company is Team PHCA. It is a service provider that provides supports in the state of Pennsylvania to adults with special needs. We allow for them and support them and integrate it into the community, into their home, utilizing person-centered approaches.
My name is Brian Will. I'm from Atlanta, and my entrepreneurial journey started about 42 years ago. I'm much older than I look. I'm weird. So people always say, well, what are your hobbies? Well, I got to be very honest. My hobbies are business. I get off on the dopamine high of making that sale or getting that contract or signing that client or having some success. And the flip side of that is taking somebody else and showing them how to have that type of success. That stuff really gets me going.
Well, hi, ladies and gents. My name's Amber Taggart, and in 2011, I decided to use my Master's of Science in Clinical Mental Health to do something a little strange and become a professional organizer.
I have often equated entrepreneurship, especially the early days of running my company, to the early days of being a mom. I'm a mother of 4, and there can be such loneliness in knowing that this baby only survives if I feed it.
Hi guys, I'm Ryan Shamim. I'm the owner and CEO of Breakbad Lending.
We're a global financial company that believes in lending out money and based on different principles than just risk assessment. So we're looking into, the heart of the company.
So first and foremost, thank you so much to you judges. Like the amount of time and energy that you're going to be bringing this week, we're so incredibly appreciative of. I think they know it, but they'll really get it here in a couple of days, and by the end of it, they will be incredibly appreciative. So one last round of applause to say thank you for being here. You are here to play the largest live-in startup competition ever assembled. So let's talk about how this game works. Every single day, I'm going to teach a different class, and that class is going to be what we harp on all day. It will be what all the exercises, the games, and the consultations, and ultimately the exercise that we do at night on this stage is all based off of. After I teach the class, I'm then going to present what the exercise of the day will be. You'll then disperse into what we call pods, each led by a different judge. You will then present the exercise of the day. It could be a quiz, it could be a speech, it could be a role-playing exercise. I would love to tell you, but I'm not going to. You'll present your thing. The judges all have the same exact rubric in their hands. After that exercise is done, we'll do a quick breath reset, and then we're going to play another game right then and there. I would rather look at it as a consultation. You're going to have a 15-minute one-on-one consultation with your judge on that day's subject matter. You should ask them questions about that day's subject matter. They're going to ask you questions about that day's subject matter. They should teach you. You should ask. Their job, after giving each one of you a consult in that pod, is to tell me who the 3 most proficient people at that day's subject are in that long-form modality. Each winner will then come back on this stage at that night and represent in what we call the blocks off. Ultimately, we're then going to rank those 9 people on stage. It will be pretty brutal. But ultimately, I'll say, eventually it'll be like, and in first place, and that person won that day. You can consider yourself the fill-in-the-blank topic winner of the blocks for that day. Every point matters. Very, very seldom do we have people that make it into the top 3 or into the runners-up spot that got on stage even more than once. This is a game about consistently showing up. You can win the blocks by getting second place in your pod for the next 5 days. And so that should be a motivation to every single day show up and give it your absolute best, mostly to learn, but also that's just how the game works. Just consistently showing up and getting a lot of points. At the end of every single day, we'll have to do a little bit of tabulation. It'll take a little bit of time, not too long, but we will be in an exciting moment. So give us 10 minutes for our software to do its thing. And then I will come up here and I will announce who is in the top 3. Those 3 people will get a red jersey that will say that they're the current leaders of the blocks. And those are the people that will be wearing that the whole next day. Respect them, but knock them off their throne. At the end of the week, we are going to crown a handful of winners. And let's discuss what that means. I am going to personally choose 2 people that are the most investable. I am also going to choose 2 different that are the most valuable. How I define that tends to be, from a value standpoint, if everyone was to sell their business tomorrow, who are the 2 that I believe would get the most amount of money for their company tomorrow? With investable, it has a lot more to do with scale, a little bit of traction, a little bit of the jockey that's on the horse, so it's a little bit more intangible. But either way, I'm responsible for those 4 awards. Then we're going to have 4th through 6th place are going to be the runners-up. But then 1st through 3rd, and we used to never delineate. No one used to ever know who was 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But we still will call 1st, 2nd, and 3rd the winners of the blocks. Those 3 will be etched into the trophy forever. But nowadays, we actually do have to delineate between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The winner of the blocks is going to get a $10,000 prize. Well, well, well. Class number 1. And I've already tipped my hat to this, but this is my favorite subject of all time. I remember exactly where I was, which way I was facing when I sat down and read the book that marks the foundation for this class. It's like the clouds parted, and a lot of the stuff that myself and other people I looked up to that we were instinctually doing, it's almost like it finally made sense, and it gave us a roadmap for how to proceed and to proceed in a fast, methodical way. And so my hope is that for any lean startup virgins in here, I'm about to rock your world. Now, there's lots of reasons to reference the movie Mighty Ducks. I can create tons of business analogies from just about every single scene of that cinematic masterpiece. But there's one scene in particular where they have to relearn how to pass. They have to go back to the basics. And they pull out eggs, they put them on the ice, and they have to learn to pass the eggs around without the eggs breaking. If any of you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you're too young for me. And you need to go back and learn your roots. These are important movies. Point is, we all need, to those of you that are brand new and super early in your business, this is going to be the most educational and important day of your life. For those of you that are a little further along, I want you to remember that even the mightiest of ducks have to go back and relearn how to pass. This is our steering wheel. We call it the build, measure, learn feedback loop. The idea is that our product is an experiment. It is the word that we're going to use today, and we're going to use it a lot, is build. It is a build. We build that experiment. It is a product. We put it out in the world. We measure what happens from those results. From that measurement, we're going to get data. We're going to assess the data, and we're going to learn a lot from that data. From that learning, we're going to come up with new ideas. Those ideas are going to be implemented and put into the next build. But then right before build, we're going to ask ourselves, do we pivot or do we persevere?
When you are testing your hypothesis, you're not gaining traction, then you know that the model you're trying to test is a failure. And so you need to pivot your business and try a different model. Doesn't mean you have to change the vision or the mission of your company. It just means you have to come at it from a different angle.
There's this concept called product market fit, and this is what we're trying to get to. Exercise number 1. Ooh, this is bad. What I got right about my MVP was fill in the blank. What I got wrong about my MVP was fill in the blank. The worst assumption that I made that ended up being wrong was fill in the blank. I validated that I got it right in the next iteration because I fill in the blank. For my particular business, the most important innovation accounting metric that I need to pay attention to is fill in the blank. 3 experiments that I plan on running in the next month to improve my innovation accounting metrics are fill in the blank. You have 15 minutes to write that, and you have 3 minutes total to present it.
My name is Joe Nugent. I'm the owner and founder of Joe the Home Pro Home Inspections, located in beautiful Naples, Florida. We're a full-service multi-inspector home inspection company, and with plans to be launching nationwide in the coming months. One of the things that I got right when I launched my MVP was the fact that people were clamoring for good service. They wanted a home inspector that had great service and that could get reports out in a timely fashion. So me investing in my software really helped accomplish that. The one thing I got wrong with my MVP, which there's more than one, but we'll pick one for just the purposes of this exercise, was the fact that I thought I needed some giant kick-ass website by spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a website that I really didn't need anything to do with that at the very beginning. An assumption that I made that I was completely wrong on, and I was so glad I was wrong on this, was that everybody wanted Joe to do their inspection. Spoiler alert, no one gives a shit about Joe. They just want a really good home inspection. So I fixed it by being able to hire another home inspector. By being able to hire another home inspector, I was also able to get through my limiting mindset belief. I was able to increase our revenues, profits, and ultimately our service scores went up because we were able to get to clients in a faster manner. Now, the innovative accounting that I had used and really that I pay attention to is the number of inspections that we do. We kind of live and breathe based on how many inspections do we do on a single week, month, quarter, and year. 3 things that I plan to implement and 3 really experiments that I plan to do is I have a marketing agency that I'm going to bring on for outbound calls. They're going to make 400 to 500 phone calls in every single week to outbound realtors. We're going to talk to realtors about what we offer and how we can help them and what we can do to add value to them. We are also going to implement some Facebook advertising, which we've never done before. Typically, 90+% of our inspections come from realtors. So the fact that we're going to be able to go directly to the consumer and try to capture that market without having to work directly through realtors will be a really good thing for us. Lastly, the third thing that we're going to experiment with is I'm going to add some new services. I just found out about this awesome new software platform that you can actually do a digital floor plan, and that would help people tremendously. Thank you so much.
Now, this is going to be a little confusing, but first, second, and third place tonight on the stage are not actually the 3 people that are going to be winning the red jersey. Include Inc. and Impact Botanicals will be wearing the red jerseys, as will Jeffy.us. Academia. And in the world of academia, how you get tenure, how you make more money, how you rise the ranks in places like Stanford is you get your research and your ideas published. And then how do you how do people determine the success of those publications? Is how often those publications are cited in other publications. As in, how many times is my work in someone else's bibliography? And they were like, oh, wow, so that's what makes this professor famous, is because her thing that she published 2 years ago is cited in thousands of other publications where other people are just writing things that are derivatives of what she wrote. And they said to themselves, oh my gosh, what if that's what would make better search engines? What if how we can determine what pages should rank higher is based on how many people are citing that page? The more people that are pointing to our sites and we're not pointing back, it's their way of algorithmically saying, look, this person is saying something important. How could they not be? Because look, hundreds or even more of people are pointing at them, are saying, hey, go to this site, it must be of importance. Today's game is it follows the same format as yesterday. We're filling out a template about search engine optimization. My business's name is fill in the blank, and we explain what you do. My customers will use Google to find me when, fill in the blank, explain where, when in the process they might go looking, such as after feeling a particular pain or being in a certain part of the information gathering stage. The words or phrases my customers are going to be Googling are fill in the blank, roughly 3 phrases that your customers will be using. In an effort to match those keywords, I'm going to create fill in the blank content strategy that matches those keywords on your website. I want to see a strategic description of this plan. Lastly, 2 other strategies I'm going to implement to beef up my organic rankings are fill in the blank additional strategies that supplement the content strategy.
Today we were asked to talk about our business, different strategies that we could use to generate more traffic to come to our landing pages, and the types of words and phrases we were going to use to optimize traffic to our page through Google.
Whether we were in demand creation or demand harvesting, and then provide some specific examples of how we are going to apply that to our businesses.
Today's exercise challenge was really getting us to think about the keywords that we were going to use, as well as the strategies that we were going to use for bringing customers to our business, as far as like SEO and Google pay-per-click and things like that. My customers will use Google to find me. It's going to be completely awareness stage. They will come find me when they feel burnt out, exhausted, in need of a life coach, in need of a life coach for Black women. And so the words, phrases that my customers are going to be Googling are life coach for Black women life coach, exhausted Black women, burnt out.
My customers, subcontractors, will utilize Google to find me when they're looking for construction field reporting solutions, project management solutions, or AI solutions for construction companies, or if they just have pain points associated with document control or project management efficiency. The words and phrases tying back to just those same things and those keywords would be construction, AI, field reporting, or project management.
My customers will find me when they are looking to pollinate their farms or purchasing honey. All farms, such as almonds, apples, blueberries, raspberries, all need bees for pollination. Our consumers of honey look for wholesaling purchasing so that they can sell honey.
The Blocks doesn't just test the entrepreneurs, but also empowers you, the viewers, with the tools one needs to start the next great company. Our game is your education, and it starts right now.
Let me set the record straight for a minute. Hate, I get it, say it with them. I don't give a I'm cool with it, playin', peep the fans with them. Yeah, they gon' remember mine. Yeah, they gon' remember mine.
Yeah. All right, great writing equals more sales, an entrepreneur's guide to copywriting. All right, let's talk about this. You know, copywriting is like such, it feels like such a weird thing to even have to explain this, but especially after we've already been through one of the classes on this. A copyright is a legal thing in an intellectual property protection tool to basically copy your poems, your books, your writing in the terms of making sure that no one can steal it. Copywriting is the act and the art and the strategies of using our words to inspire change.
I think it's all about colors. I mean, I can't tell you how many websites I go to and I'm like, A, I have a hard time navigating this site, and then B, you can't figure out what's going on there and like what they're actually doing. So design for me is super important. And when I started my company, I made sure that we picked like this blue color. I really wanted to make sure that I had like these really nice, like soft tones that really kind of were bold in a way, but that it could easily take people through and they're not going to get nauseous looking at my site the whole time.
Well, well, well. The exercise for day number 3. You're going to be infusing the copywriting checklists into an About Us video. And what you're going to be presenting is essentially the script. So you're going to have 15 minutes to craft a 3-minute presentation that discusses, that kind of walks the judge or your coach through what is being said and shown in the video. This is going to be your biggest ability to showcase your creativity and your personality, and I want to see all that infused with this. Have some fun with it. Obviously, like, there's a ton of subjectivity from my decision here, because I could sit around and talk with each one of you for hours. So give me some grace to do my best for these things tomorrow, and just understand that part of the reason why you got here is because people that have even other perspectives that helped me get you here. It's just a compliment to be on the stage at all. And you should be very proud of yourselves. And what I heard, I mean, everyone did fantastic. This is a very challenging environment it won't ever be replicated ever again. This will be the one and only time that it will look and feel like this. And to be in this large of a room and not know when you're going to get called on or what you're going to get asked of, and know that you're kind of getting hurried through the whole process, all to talk about your baby, is it's almost like bully-esque. Well. I'm feeling particularly good today. I look fly. Dare I say, flying V? All right. Today's class is called Your Customer's In-Person Experience versus Your Scalability and How to Balance. We need to define a few things before we get into anything. We need to define scalability. I'm going to do it in a very clinical, scientific way, and then I'll give some examples that maybe make it. Actually, no, let's do it the easy way first. I was thinking for a second maybe hard might be smarter and then easy. Let's do easy first with just some examples. And before I get into all this, we are going to be delineating between the difference between a small business and a startup. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that here in a little bit. And I want to acknowledge that neither one is better than the other. It's just we have to know that both are different sciences, and how we attack them is different. The point of today's class in its entirety is to kind of steal best practices from both sides and to create a hybrid of both. Well. Exercise number 4. It is time. What you're going to be doing is you are going to be given 15 minutes to craft a 3-minute presentation addressing the following 3 main points. I want you to explain a piece of technology that you're using or will use that creates more value. I also want you to tell us about a contractor that you've hired or will hire. Tell us about a system or a process or an SOP that you've implemented or will implement that makes it possible to replicate a task faster. Essentially, I need you to exhibit that you understand how to use these 3 different categories to scale yourself and to scale your company, regardless of how quote-unquote scalable society might say that you are. In Q's Pod, Beyond Outdoors. In Stephanie's Pod, Premier Holiday Lighting.
I'd probably be telling you I was lying if I kind of wasn't expecting that I was going to be up there.
In Alex's Pod, Blend Fitness and Company.
This is terrifying, but it's not that bad. It's kind of fun to like feed off the crowd when they're laughing, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to keep this going.
In Melissa and Brian's Pod, Crossroads Boutique.
First of all, like, I was like, is this a joke? Am I in a fever dream right now?
In Emily's Pod, Stressless Eating.
Every single time I come back here, I'm just so grateful for the coach that I had that day that saw something in me and appreciated what I put out there, and it's a lot of fun.
In Michael's pod, Yamu Media.
I wasn't expecting it. Maybe thought maybe I would do it, but in this one I didn't. But so it was cool. It's a nice surprise.
In Tiffany's pod, Lokovich Art Studio.
I was so shocked. I just jumped up and threw my hands in the air. And like at the end of it, she hugged me. But for a minute, it was like the world disappeared.
In Amber's pod, Sardoodledom Story House.
I knew for a fact that I nailed it. Everything went perfect. I feel very genuinely myself out here, and I think it's really coming through.
In Ryan's pod, Joe the Home Pro.
Obviously, going throughout the day, the pressure was mounting on me. I just felt it. And even though this was like the best of the material that I felt like I knew offhand, the pressure was mounting. And then tonight, to actually get that call and hear your name was unbelievable elation, immediately followed up by, oh shit, now what am I gonna do, right?
So tonight's a little different. You are going to be giving the same exact 3-minute presentation that you gave this afternoon, but immediately after the speech, I'm gonna ask you follow-up questions and whatever suits my fancy.
Okay, so one of the great things about Joe the Home Pro and what we've really tried to do is separate ourselves from all the other inspection companies by the use of technology. My name's Joe Nugent. I'm the owner and CEO of Joe the Home Pro Home Inspections based in Naples, Florida. We are a full-service multi-inspector home inspection company. We help protect everyone's slice of paradise, and we do that by being efficient with using our technology and all the standards of practice that are set forth. I started at a time when COVID was happening and the housing boom was crazy prevalent, and especially in Naples, Florida. And I go from just myself to now having multiple inspectors, an office manager, a marketing team. I think my proudest accomplishment though is that for the last 2 years, we've been named the best of the best home inspection company in Southwest Florida. So I have 2 absolutely amazing kids that are just my absolute world. Being in Naples, I'm 3 miles from the beach, so obviously I love the beach, I love boating. I worked in the hospitality industry. I was director of sales and marketing for a huge hotel. So to go from Joe the hotel guy to then Joe the home inspector and now Joe the home pro is really cool. And it's been a really fun journey for me. However, we haven't always succeeded at this. So a new piece of technology that we're going to implement is called Home Inspector Pro Office. What this does is this allows us to schedule, send the welcome email, and the invoice all in one swoop, as opposed to taking 3 different steps like we used to. Additionally, it also allows us to send a follow-up email 2 days later, asking them for the referral, making sure we're getting a good Google review, and just making sure that everything was okay with their inspection. Another thing that we're going to be doing to implement and to help tell our story is I do a lot of networking around Southwest Florida, and I have a great company that is called M&M Multimedia. They're going to follow us around, and they're going to take some great videos, pictures, and live action shots of what we do. That way we can show customers through our website and through our social media channels exactly what Joe the Home Pro does and what we're all about. One of the ways that we're going to create an SOP that's going to help take me out of some more of the day-to-day activities and duties that I have is part of what M&M Multimedia is going to do is they are going to film videos. We're going to put that on a system called Trainual and make sure that they understand there's a Joe the Home Pro way of doing a home inspection. This will allow me to focus more on growing and scaling the company and allow me to get out of the field.
Why is it so important for people like you to use outside vendors and contractors to supplement building your business?
Because I simply don't know how to do it all. And a lot of times you can find somebody else that's an expert in that field that can do it faster, cheaper than you could internally.
How do you delineate between or define the difference between startups and small businesses?
So I think that's pretty simple. Like a startup is going to be something that could potentially have exponential outputs, whereas a small business owner is going to have capped outputs.
And then how do you define scalability?
Scalability to me is the ability to grow outside of your 4 walls. It's the ability to be bigger than what you are.
What's the most important reason a small business owner should be implementing SOPs and playbooks?
Well, the biggest reason is you got to have systems and processes. Whenever you go to exit your company, if you have no playbook for anyone, what are they actually buying? But at the same time, the team members that you currently have, if they have no idea what they have to do on a day-to-day basis or how to even do those functions, it's setting everyone up for failure. I actually think I did much better than I was anticipating. And even though I felt like I really knew the material, it is really nerve-wracking to be out there in front of 100 other of your peers and you're one of the people that got chosen. It's like there's a lot of pressure on you, but I think once I started to get through it, I just kept going.
All right, so a couple of things here. One would be the person I'm about to announce that got last place, in my opinion, did really well, and that showcases how good across the board y'all did. In 9th place, Beyond Outdoors. In 8th place, Blend Fitness and Company. In 7th place, Premier Holiday Lighting. In 6th place, Crossroads Boutique. In 5th place, Yamu Media. In 4th place, Lokovich Art Studio. In 3rd place, Sardoodledom Story House. In 2nd place, Joe the Home Pro. And in 1st place, Stressless Eating. All right, congratulations everybody, head on down. How to dramatically increase the retention of your customers. You know, earlier in the week we talked about cost of customer acquisition and lifetime value of the customer. These are two of the most crucial, oh, you want to be nerds? What are these called? Innovation accounting metrics. There you go. So when we talked about it, these are the two most important of the innovation accounting metrics. There's lots of them. There could be hundreds that are all customized to your particular business. But these are the two most important ones because if we can acquire our customers for less money, and if we can make more total money from them over their lifetime, the difference between those two is a lot of profit, which will make us the money that we deserve. It will keep our business around longer. We'll be sustainable because of that. This class is on the second half of that, the lifetime value. All right, we need an attitude adjustment that the new philosophy is there is no such thing as post-sale. The sale is not the finish line. There's a lot more to do after the sale has been had. We also don't look at it like it's going to cost us money because if we do customer success properly, it actually should make us money. We should be investing dollars into customer success in the way that we should and can and will expect a return on those dollars. You know, we're also going to be very focused on the numbers. We want to quantify how things are going, how long people stick around, how well informed they are at different parts of their journey with us. We spend so much time on getting as many customers as possible that we forget that this is only 1/3 of the battle. As in, 1/3 of it is all the basically getting the leads, 1/3 of it is nurturing the leads, 1/3 of them is selling the leads. But what we forget is the importance of retention. That's the name of the game here. The answer to probably 10 to 15% of the questions that you are going to be asked today and tonight, the answer is retention.
Well, well, well. Our very last exercise. This is a particularly good one. You have 15 minutes to craft a 3-minute presentation. In it, you are going to be doing a little bit of a role play. You are not going to be yourself. You're going to be your customer. And you're going to be describing what it's like going through your journey of customer success. This is a test of empathy, that you can put yourself in the shoes of your customers and know what it's like as you go through the journey, explaining every one of the steps in the customer success funnel. Well, well, well.
think a lot of you find some relief in the statement, which is the game is over for most of you. But not everybody. You guys have had some really interesting decisions that we've got here. I've got a hot sheet. We've got some people that have not been up here all week. There's going to be some ramifications to the leaderboard. Oh, this is crazy. In Q's pod, prenatal fit. In Stephanie and Ryan's pod, hammered trivia. In Alex's pod, sartorial. In Melissa's pod, anchoring hope counseling. In Emily's pod, boss designs. In Michael's pod, epic photography. Uh-oh. In Tiffany's pod, Joe the Home Pro. Joe the Home Pro. In Brian's pod, Stretch Recovery Lounge. In Amber's pod, Max Event.
It could be from the onboarding, it could be from the referral, it could be from a lot of things. Customer success is all about taking the customer through that journey and ensuring that they're your client not just before and during the sale, but well after the sale.
What do we mean when we say onboarding a customer?
Onboarding a customer means just getting them ready.
Onboarding a customer can mean a lot of things, but generally speaking, we can do it in a lot of different ways. But onboarding a customer is really all about bringing them through the journey and setting their expectations and ensuring that they understand the value of the product.
If you were to sum up into a single word the reason why we take customer success so seriously, what is that word?
Retention.
Sales. Retention.
Engagement. Viability. Replication.
Retention.
Retention. Retention.
All right, come on out. Okay, so we saw some not so good answers. Oh. Yeah, it does. It's not like you're vying for an important spot. Yeah, might as well kiss that goodbye. Most expensive word in your life. And in 9th place, incredibly adorable, Anchoring Hope Counseling. In 8th place, Max Event. In 7th place, Sartorial. In 6th place, Prenatal Fit. In 5th place, Epic Photography. In fourth place, Joe the Home Pro. In third place, Hammered Trivia. In second place, Boss Designs. And in first place, Stretch Recovery Lounge. Unlike that category, we are going to delineate between first, second, and third. But we're not going to do that until they're all up on stage. Impact Botanicals. Joe the Home Pro. Stressless Eating. No, I'm not.
The week has been amazing. Contrary to popular belief, I did not drag my feet on purpose throughout the week and then try to come in at the end as this dark horse. So the judges, holy crap, where does one begin with the amazing judges and just mentors and coaches and just to be able to bounce ideas off of these people. And last but certainly not least, to each and every one of you who I made my best effort to try to get to know, I will do anything I can to continue to help you on your journey, as I know you will continue to help me on mine. This is incredibly humbling. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
To be as one of the champions of the blocks is unbelievable. It just made me want to work harder and drive harder and scale faster and get to where I want to go. I think like there's a new motivation within me. There's a fire in my belly that I think has always been there, but it's been renewed, and it's been renewed like times 10. And so I'm just excited to keep moving forward and to keep getting bigger.
All right, all three of you want to hoist this up?